Okay, we are now live on YouTube.
Okay. Thank you very much. Let's go ahead and
Sorry.
record.
I'm going to, yeah,
Yes,
sorry about that.
that's fine. Good afternoon. We will be let's call to order the regular meeting of the Executive Committee of the Cities Association of Santa Clara County, October 23rd, 2025 at 4:40 p.m. Welcome. For those of you that are visiting City Hall, we've had technical difficulties, so sorry we're starting the meeting 10 minutes late. With that, Shelley, can we please have roll call?
Barry Klein,
Present.
Tina Walia,
Present.
J.R. Bruin,
Here.
Elliot Scazola,
Here.
Nisa Flagger.
Here.
With everyone here, we have four.
Thank you. Next is oral communications from the public. These are for non-agendized items. There's no one in the room. Is there anyone remote wishing to speak under oral communications?
No one online.
Okay. We'll move to our main agenda. First up is our consent calendar. The only thing that we have on our consent is the executive committee meeting minutes from September 25th. Are there any changes, comments? Is there any member of the public remote wishing to speak on this item?
No.
Okay. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve by body.
Second. Thank you.
Motion to approve the consent calendar as presented was made by Walia, seconded by Fruin. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? And we have no absences. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Next up is item number 2, president update. So I just wanted to give you several updates. First, and actually I want to make sure I don't duplicate what we're talking about later. Just so that I don't cause more questions. So thank you all for being here in person for our last executive committee meeting for the year. So it's been an interesting year, but ultimately it's like, thank you all for showing. I think it's been questions from a federal level more than anything else, I think. And but I think it's been productive what we've been doing here for kind of last efforts for upcoming. We have the holiday party that we've finalized. We haven't signed the contract yet, but we finalized the final split. Alpha X is going to be covering a portion of that. So from a drink standpoint and all that, it's actually positive that I think our members will be happy. And from the setup of the room and being at Valley Goat, I think it'll be a good mix as far as concerned. So looking forward to that coming up in December. We'll be publicizing that coming up next week. So we'll as we finalize that contract, we'll try to get it on everyone's calendars early enough, because I think from a site standpoint, it's a pretty amazing location, and should be a fun Sunday night as far as that's concerned.
What's the date again, President Klein?
What was that?
What's the date?
The Sunday, December 7th. Correct?
Correct.
Happy Pearl Harbor Day.
Yes, yes, exactly.
Time?
I think we said starting at 5:30. I can't remember reception, and we'll finalize that. But it's also interesting from their grounds. So it'll be like we'll have our main room and the standard setups as far as that's concerned. But the grounds, kind of touring around. So we'll highlight some of the interesting things to see at the hotel from that standpoint. So it should be good. We'll talk about nominating committee. So we'll talk about website later. I think that's it. So any questions? Any member of the public wishing to speak?
No one online.
Okay. Next up, item 3, nominating committee. Discussion and possible action. Walden.
I'll keep it very brief. The nominating committee met a couple of weeks or so ago. The three members of the nominating committee are Mayor Klein / President of Cities Association, and myself, Tina Walia, and Mayor of Milpitas, Carmen Santana. And the committee was unanimous to propose for 2026 for the four positions unanimously chosen: the past president, Larry Klein, president, Tina Walia, first vice president, J.R. Froen, second vice president / Legislative Action Committee Chair, Ariel Scazola. And the nominating committee has recommended that the board choose, the nominating committee came up with two names: Vice Mayor Kitty Moore of Cupertino and Vice Mayor Ricky Winker of Palo Alto. And the vote will take it from there. Of course, per our bylaws, there can be motions made and nominations will be taken from the floor as well. That's the end of my report.
Any questions for Tina? Okay. And as far as part of the packet, we'll have all the applications that'll be included. And then as far as the meeting itself, which we'll get to the agenda, everyone will have the chance to speak at that meeting. I think one of our applicants will be traveling internationally during that meeting, so conceivably doing a recorded statement as far as that's concerned. People can talk on her behalf, but definitely if you know, but we've done that in the past, you know, for a certain standpoint of okay, everyone gets a fair, you know, their minute to at least make their case. Any member of the public wishing to speak on this side? Oh,
Thanks for, I just want to clarify two things, in anticipation of questions that may be asked at the board meeting. So we already have, a recommendation to have at least one Cupertino city council member serve on our board. Can we have more than one, council members, from the same city serve on the board? Because that will be asked.
right.
Okay.
I've asked that of Janny and Andrew. They did confirm that we do not have a restriction like some other organizations. So there could conceivably be more than one person from the same city on board. So that is concerned.
And
Go ahead.
I just want to confirm that was absolutely correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Sorry to interrupt.
And then from a process perspective, President Klein, about how you're gonna run the meeting and take the votes. Not something to discuss here, but just a heads up, it'd be good to think that through.
Right. Yeah, and most likely work, and since we have, you know, multiple people applying for that board position, it's like basically working for expediency in the meeting, most likely doing the slate for the first four positions and then having, you know, a city vote on the last position, which we had multiple positions of. Yeah. So. Any other questions?
No member of the public.
Any member of the public wishing to speak now? Okay. And no action needs to be taken on this. We'll move on to our next item. Website committee update, discussion and possible action. So our website subcommittee met multiple times over the last few minutes. We had some final questions with our main, well, with both of them, and then kind of narrowed it down to one. Resolved, came up with final kind of a list of questions, met with them a few weeks ago and had a final contract. So you'll see that for the final recommended contract. So we'll finally be able to move this forward and make those updates to the website. So you have that going for next year. That ultimately you'll have a new website, which is a positive thing. You know, it's been a while since you know, I've been making on my own some of the updates to the website since Janny didn't, or since Shali didn't have any additional resources, but ultimately we'll have a fresh website as of next year. So we'll put that on the agenda to do that final approval for that contract, at least for the first year. And then we'll see what additional costs, other than hosting fees. It should be simple enough that we don't need their assistance past that first year, but we'll see how that goes. They do offer that to, $3.50 an hour or something of that nature for website updates, but I don't think we'll be needing that. So, any questions?
Congratulations.
Thank you so much for sharing that here. Once again, it demonstrates things take time. And we have been working on this, or tried to get the website subcommittee going. We tried in 2024. Other urgent things
Yeah.
needed to be dealt with, not that we were ignoring this. And in 2025, again, by the time we could focus on this, and things moving with the process, it has taken this long. And I deeply appreciate the work you have put in, trying to move this to the point where we finally are going to present the contract to the board for approval. Very exciting, and kind of ties in with other conversations we have had at Cities Association. That continuity helps because people know what was being worked on the prior year and how to move forward. It's just wanted to share that. That's my observation. And again, thank you so much. Very excited, looking forward to a good website next time. Okay.
Any member of the public wishing to speak remotely on this item?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll move on to consideration of amendments to the Cities Association of Santa Clara County Joint Powers Agency Agreement and Bylaws. As most of you have seen, Cupertino has proposed certain changes to the bylaws. And I know that Andrew, that you and Janny are working like on a presentation on what that process is. We talked a little bit about it last month, so I'll be clear with this one. As far as what that process is from a multiple meeting standpoint, we'll bring that up to the board. We'll get to the agenda in a minute. Andrew, do you have any comments about the proposal?
No, I do not at this time.
Okay. And so ultimately, from a process standpoint, it needs to be approved by 10 of the 15 members in order to approve it at the end of the day, correct?
That is an amendment to the JPA agreement. Yes, requires 2/3 vote.
Okay. And so we'll have that discussion at our next meeting. It's basically something that would ultimately really go forward in January or February, but from a process standpoint, we'll have that discussion in November. Any questions?
So just as a point of clarification, since the initial ask was for an amendment of the bylaws, and the bylaws have to be consistent, and at least not contrary to the joint powers agreement, and most of the provisions that are requested to see change are also living inside the joint powers agreement. That does mean that it has to come to a vote of the legislative body of the individual members. Yes, it's not just 2/3 of the board has to vote on it. It has to actually go to the individual city councils.
Yeah, that is true for amendments to the JPA agreement. As you may recall from our prior discussion, for bylaws amendments, we don't necessarily need approval of every council. That one simply requires majority vote approval at the board.
Correct. But in order for the bylaws to be effective and legal, they have to be consistent with the JPA.
That's absolutely correct.
Okay, so the amendment of the JPA would be a condition precedent to amending the bylaws, yes?
Yes, in their current form.
Okay. Yeah. And then just as a comment, I'll note that this comes to us on a 3-2 vote, so this is not a unanimous decision from my council.
Thank you. Yes, I did see that, and potentially that you should also bring in the minutes when we'll talk about. I'll talk to you offline
Okay.
on what that proposal is, as well as kind of what we do with like recommendations to our council is is list the summary minutes, from that section of that meeting
Okay.
for boards and commissions and all that. So a little bit of that
Okay.
is fine. Okay. Well, we'll talk about that, and that's part of the general packet. Any other comments, questions?
No one on.
And no one online? Okay. Next we'll move to item 6, identify potential speakers, really for 2026 as opposed to 2025, but, you know, so I know, actually, I'll pass it to you.
No new requests, but, again, second harvest, and now with so many more people who are asking for, I don't know how else to say it.
Indeed.
In need, thank you. So many more people in need.
Yeah.
So, might be good to have them come in front of the board.
No, I agree. So we have that, and what we have outstanding right now,
Oh, in
So-
terms,
in terms of, I know that we had multiple requests, things that haven't been finalized. I know that the sheriff's office was looking to speak to us on motorized vehicles. Was one, or, scooters and e-bikes and what they're planning from that standpoint. I've had a request from several different cities to talk about, parking regulations. As it ripples throughout the county. What's been implemented previously, what's been implemented recently, what certain cities are already looking to the future on. So I think it's a good discussion topic, and, conceivably no intended speaker at this point, but I'll just throw that on the list right now for next year. But I think it's something that I've had multiple people call me about what our city's doing or plans to be doing, and, I think it's a very pertinent topic right now, and it kind of goes with need also, and lack, loss of certain federal funding, how that will affect some of our local residents. Lisa?
On the e-bike topic, that has already come to our council, and we basically did like a first phase and gave direction that our Complete Streets Commission should continue to look at the first wave. But I just want to underscore the importance of the Cities Association for the future president and board, where this to me is the perfect example of why the Cities Association exists, where if we can have, and we heard this from a lot of residents where they're saying, when their kids or themselves are biking to different cities, there are no borders, right? And it'd be good if we all have similar laws related to e-biking.
Right.
And so I just think it's a great opportunity for the Cities Association to work with all the different councils to figure out, can we have similar regulations and laws related to e-biking across the county?
Any other topics or speakers? Let's see, no other comments? Anyone from the public wishing to speak on this item?
no one has any hands.
Okay,
Mayor Klein, I'll work with you later to get contact people.
absolutely. And then, almost last, review November 13th, meeting agendas and possible discussion.
So I put the LAC agenda first because it's just first in the evening, so. You want to see?
Thanks, media. So, we definitely do a wrap up on the tracked bills, which is how I would pass that there. But I also wanted to have something I've been working on in the background is a discussion on the sort of guidebook for the LAC chair, so that there's sort of a set of recommendations there on timelines, information on how to go about doing this work, because it is not something that is intuitive unless you've been doing it.
Yeah.
And I don't want somebody to walk into that position and feel behind the ball already. So I'd like to be able to take at least either the outline or the draft to the LAC and get their feedback on things that worked, things that didn't work so well, what would we have liked differently, etc., and then be able to incorporate that in. The one question that I do have is if we wanted this to be an official document or essentially an unofficial document for the time being, if only because I don't know that we have a good mechanism for ratifying its adoption unless we do so in December. At least if we want, input from the LAC, and I think that's appropriate given
Right.
the circumstances. So that was the one other thing I wanted to certainly bring to them. There is a document I want to circulate to everyone, and I guess one of the questions I have for you is whether it's something we want to entertain either at the board meeting or in, of course, the LAC is a decision that came out of the Court of Appeal that invalidated the city of Redondo Beach's housing element. It could have interesting implications for certain cities, at least those who have used an overlay for any extensive amount of their housing element sites inventory. So that's something that I think is worth at least sharing with everyone. I guess the question is, do we want to do that in the course of the meeting, or would you prefer something that is just informally circulated in the background?
So the overlay or
The decision.
the decision?
Yeah.
So I would add it to your LAC agenda to
Okay.
talk about, and then when you're giving the update to the board.
Okay.
And it's some overlap with the members, but basically a second chance to say, and we talked about this at LAC.
Okay,
So it's a similar,
okay,
it's a decision, yeah.
that sounds good.
As opposed to, let's agendize item X to talk about.
Sure.
I think it's exactly what you're saying. It's
Okay.
like, it's under LAC at the end of the day.
Okay.
Kind of monitoring what's happening at the state level.
Sounds good. And then the last piece that I thought I would give a little bit of time to is just the collection of ideas for bill concepts for our legislative delegation in Sacramento. I like to be solutions focused, so I don't want to just signal problems to them. I'd like to give them some options for what we think they ought to do.
Okay.
And then see what ideas folks have.
And I think at that point is probably good. I know that Assembly Member Aaron's has already set up his pancakes and policy or whatever his holiday party is, or something of that nature to take bill ideas for next year.
Yeah.
So, bringing up and maybe reaching out to our different assembly and senators to see if they have dates yet.
Yep.
Good. So from an agenda standpoint, we just need to add, I don't know,
That fourth thing,
There's four things.
Yeah.
Yes.
the wrap up on past bills.
Yep.
The discussion on the guidebook for the LAC chair.
Yep.
I'm just calling this the Redondo Beach overview.
So it's the case name is New Commune DTLA LLC versus City of Redondo Beach.
Okay, then read that to you.
legal.
Reach out to you. And then the collection of ideas for bills for our legislative team.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other comments about LAC?
Just that item number 3, also I do like, what's the difference? Well, there is a difference.
I think,
Two position letters.
yeah, I think we could kind of strike that because there's no,
Okay,
I mean, maybe there's an informational item there for the one hanger-on letter that I delayed on because it's a 2-year bill and there was no reason to have that one done right before the veto signing deadline. And I wanted to have a conversation with the bill author first to see what he was planning to do with it, so.
And moving on to the executive board agenda, which is going to be a very busy meeting. Consent, president update, we need to move website to its own item because I think we need to approve the website contract. That's not been pre-approved. Election of the executive committee for 2026. Planning collaborative update. I wanted to get this info item mainly because this is affecting all of our cities, and the sooner we talk about it in kind of an open area, it's better, even though we will be losing certain members at the beginning of the year, we transition. It's important for at least the current members, and we can bring it up again next year to know that, what's happening with the planning collaborative, and the cities are going to be working directly with the planning collaborative with the consultants. So it's important to at least have a broader discussion there on what's going on in the backgrounds that we don't necessarily see in our meetings. Cities Association budget update.
Next slide before you move up to
Yeah.
number 4. Did you want an update on the work plan from the planning collaborative?
I wanted to talk about the need for the MOU more than anything else. Because that's something that conceivably is happening in the background, that if our member representatives don't know what's going on, it's important for them to connect up or push their city manager to, making sure that they want their city to sign up.
Okay.
I think that's what it really comes down to.
I can have the consultants like online, so anyone has questions.
Okay, yeah. As opposed to a big, I don't want a big presentation for their last one of the year. They can talk a little bit about what they're doing, but that's not the focus of this. It's kind of talking about, they can talk about, here's what we've done this year, one slide.
Okay.
But the big thing is the ask of each of our cities is creating that MOU if they want to sign on to the efforts that's happening over the, up in the upcoming years.
So do you want me to put them on the agenda? Right now, it's just Janny speaking about the 2 MOUs.
Oh, I see. I put them on the agenda in this item. Sorry,
No, no worries.
when you put this together, I thought we had them on. Maybe we did. It was the rework of that agenda, because I thought we had them coming and speaking on that need. So yes, giving them 5 minutes to speak about that, because it's the MOUs as well. Sorry, I didn't.
No, no worries.
I thought they were on it, but it's okay. And then budget update. It's a quarterly budget update.
Yeah, I don't think there's any real new news, right? Unless I'm forgetting something.
Okay.
Otherwise.
The second thing, go ahead.
There's no new news.
Right.
I will be presenting an updated budget, budget versus actuals expenditures.
Right.
And then, when I present the budget update, the quarterly update, it flows into letter B.
That's the bigger question.
Yeah.
So the reserve policy that Andrew and Janny
Mhm.
have been working on, I think that's the big question. And I'm hoping that you can review that. Go ahead.
I was gonna ask if
Yeah.
I could
Yeah.
use this agenda item to also jump in on just sort of
Please.
where we're at cash balance wise.
Mhm.
I need to connect with Andrew and Jenny after I figure out like sort of what a good reserve policy level would
Right.
be. And I know we're close to, I think we were final on an agreement for Sunnyvale to retroactively take over the finances for this fiscal year. So I want to cover that. I think I could cover a few things and we can get to the reserve policy in there too.
Okay.
Do you want me to add a letter C? Update on the professional services agreement with Sunnyvale?
Yeah, or we can just maybe, quarterly finance update or budget and finance update or just, well, I think it's. I don't
What's the
know,
easiest?
I don't know.
What would you?
It would probably just fall under the other one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We've already approved the.
You've approved the budget, so like what
Yeah.
I'd be covering is just like, I'll give more detail, like there were some unresolved
Right.
questions, like how
Yeah.
much cash are we
Mhm.
carrying?
That's right.
We do have the outstanding question about investment policy
Yeah.
also, we
Yeah.
need to cover that at some point, which we can bring back later. And then the question reserves, yeah.
Yeah, if I may, I just add a little bit, Tim. So yeah, I think we would like to address both potentially budget and investment policy. And I think those are obviously intertwined as well. Would certainly love your feedback on those policies. Obviously, we go forward and bring full board, and Elliot, we would certainly want your feedback as well. So
Okay, great.
I think there are a few intertwined concepts there.
Do we have drafts of those already, or?
Yeah, we've drafted something up, and if you're open to it, we can certainly get together next week and talk about
Yeah.
the detail.
Yeah,
I think so.
I think that would be good.
Yeah, that would be great. That'd be great if you're both available.
Yeah, yes,
So
happy to do
we were-
that.
So Andrew, you, me and Jenny are going to have a meeting with Elliot. Do you want me to
just loop me, add me in.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay,
Perfect.
Thank you.
Assuming we're not being overrun by ice, we'll.
I'll be the right. Air raid sirens are going.
Okay, next item is the amendment to the, bylaws, which we already talked about.
Number 6.
Oh, sorry, I skipped over number 6, sorry. Determine the meeting at the January 2026 Cities Association meeting. This is because of our ongoing issues with, well, the last week, and so just let everybody know, have we got update from BTA yet?
no.
Okay, so we're still waiting to hear from BTA, which is the big, question, which often we have conflicts. I'm hoping that we have basically the 15th and the 22nd as the standard. So our second Wednesday is the 8th. I think that's too early in the month, especially with all the IGRs and everything that people do. The last, just to let people know, the 29th. So we do have 5 Thursdays. The problem is the 29th is also the US Conference of Mayors. So any mayors that might be on the board would not be able to be in that first meeting. So either the 15th or the 22nd, assuming that BTA will choose a different night, and we'll just try not to conflict with BTA, but most likely they will push to one of those 2 dates, and we'll propose to do the other one. But I wanted to have this, or for Tina's sake, have this discussion now, as opposed to getting into January and kind of doing doodle polls and everything else. Let's try to at least set that first meeting, since the 8th is far too early in the month. And since we don't have a December meeting other than the holiday party.
And as part of the attachment, I will include the list of potential dates for the 2026 board meetings
Thank you.
and LAC.
Yes.
That sounds good.
Okay.
My only question is, have we reached out to BTA? At least we can do our due diligence and share with the board on the 13th of November.
Yeah, I mean, I should have that information by the 13th.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Is there a preference for later in the month, like no, not really.
I think it's either of those that work.
Okay.
The preference would actually be later in the month. The problem is if BTA chooses that
Right.
date, then it's the
Yeah.
other day. And it's most of our councils appoint at their first meeting from an IGR standpoint. So as long as we're doing the 15th, we're probably fine.
Okay.
Sorry, yes, the 15th. So as long as we're doing the 15th, we're probably fine that most of our councils have done their IGRs.
I would
by that.
think so.
And that's what it really comes down
Okay.
to, is trying to have the people that are representing their city at that first meeting.
That makes sense.
But the 8th, definitely not.
No.
Possibly, but it's just good to make sure that we have a little more time from an organizational standpoint. Sorry, that was item 6. Item 7 was the amendment to the bylaws. Did we get confirmation that Leanne was going to be there, or?
So I have not heard from Mayor Chow. I have not specifically asked her if she was going to present it. I did send an email to Vice Mayor Moore saying, your proposed agenda item will be on the November 13th agenda, and please let me know who's going to present and any supporting documentation on it.
Okay,
And I have not gotten a response.
okay.
If you want a preview of what that is likely to look at, you can simply go and watch my council meeting.
Okay,
Mhm.
It's probably worth your time.
okay, thank you.
I watched it.
Report from item 8, report from regional appointed representatives. As much as I would like Brian there, I think our meeting is going to be full as it is. And I know that part of this problem, of course, is we skipped the October meeting, so this one's going to be in. It's not that that's critical from a Recycling Waste Commission standpoint, but it is something that the next president will get to hopefully move forward with. LAC update, Santa Clara County update, and my big thing there is, and haven't looked at timing, but I think from agenda standpoint, I'll pull in and push out, keep people moving along as needed, depending upon what this is. But I do think that having the county sweep, it'll be post November 4th. So not that anything, if it's close, measuring, but more importantly, the ICE efforts that are being declared right now and responses and press releases and other things that they're doing in the interim. I think it'll be important to ask Steve if he wants to bring someone else from a county standpoint to speak. And we can, if they are time limited, it might be worthwhile to move that up. If he wants to speak about ICE response and, there's been discussions about lots of things from a county standpoint that they're discussing from a legal standpoint. It might be just talk to him and whether or not he wants to bring someone to that meeting, and we can pop that up to the top as long as we keep it relatively short. But it might be educational and this is what this year has been, is responding to unknowns.
Absolutely.
So I think it's important for him to at least be given that opportunity. City Manager Association, anything? And we'll get your update after this, but anything burning?
Nothing burning.
Okay. And then Executive Director updates and then Joyce challenges.
I think the only thing that I was gonna mention in the update is plug the holiday party.
Yeah.
And I guess I'm giving my executive update.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm going to need help from, your team to create a flyer. I'd like to start promoting the holiday party as soon as possible.
Makes sense.
Just work with Victoria.
Any other comments about and so you caught the website is its own item now. So, I think you got everything else. Any other comments?
Quick question, so are we removing the recycling waste?
Yes.
Because it's a fact agenda, so we
Yes.
remove that. Just wanted to be very
I
clear.
don't want to go, we'll
Yes.
probably might go past 9. I don't want to go way past 9. Just to hear.
You just start losing
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I agree.
Would you like me to go over the list of changes there?
I think
No,
that,
we'll talk about it.
okay,
That's fine. That's,
okay.
we don't need
That's-
to. I think,
that was my
I think
only
you caught it
thing.
all.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that we are.
Any other comments? Anyone remote wishing to speak?
No one online, is there?
Okay.
And we need a vote to accept. the-
Oh, sorry. Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the different agendas?
So
Yes.
moved.
As discussed.
As discussed?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
A second.
Second, yeah.
Or-
I second.
Either one of us.
That's right.
Flip a coin.
That's okay.
Motion to approve the agendas for the November 13th Legislative Action Committee and Board of Directors meetings with the changes discussed was made by Spazola, seconded by Walia. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? And we have no absences. Motion.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Next, item 8, future meeting topics, discussion and possible action. We kind of talked about speakers, but are there other items that people are interested in? Or I
So
think,
when is the next, is there an executive committee meeting at the end of December, the beginning of January to plan that January meeting?
Oh, yeah, we don't have one. planned.
Yeah, I remember that's also
yeah, so,
something that's always off schedule.
but
Do you
since
want to
we're,
schedule it for November,
I would do it January.
January?
At the beginning so that you can plan your first January meeting.
Early January?
Yeah, like that first Thursday.
Okay.
Or second, because the first is a Thursday, right? January 1st is
Yeah.
a Thursday.
Yeah.
Yes. we
That
do. So the 8th or the 9th.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
And where's the holiday party? President Glenn? What hotel?
Not Valley Goat is that, but the tree house is fun.
Oh,
So the one right at 237 and
seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
there. And we'll get some photos and highlight some of the interesting things there. So,
Nice.
yeah, I think it just received some award from Silicon Valley Business Journal.
Hmm.
So,
The food's good.
The food's very good.
The most important
The
thing.
most important part, the food's good.
Yeah.
You heard of the girl and the goat in Chicago? It's the chef, Stephanie Iser. It's the same chef.
Ah,
The first female top chef winner. So, very good.
very
Good food. Um. Okay. Any remote comment on future meeting topics?
No one,
No, okay. Santa Clara County City Manager Association update.
I didn't attend because I was at Cal Cities, but my assistant city manager, Sarah Johnson Rios, went, and there was just general discussion about EMS committee and other committees like Leadership Academy. There was, we had our presentation from the Leadership Academy participants at that meeting, and I am taking over chairing the City Managers Association for the next calendar year. So
Congratulations.
I think it's whoever didn't. Take a step back.
Me, not it.
But I'll have I'm having a little bit of a hard time reading all of her notes, so I will have a better update for the broader board at the board meeting.
Any questions? Anyone remote wishing to speak?
no one on that.
Okay. Executive Director update?
So I've been working hard on the holiday party, kind of negotiating the contract with them. But what I wanted to lead off with is to thank all of you for responding to the PRA request in such a timely manner. I really appreciate it. I know that you're busy people, so thank you very much for doing that. And then I'm working with Jamie and Andrew on the numerous MOUs and PSAs, public professional service agreements. So that's it.
Any questions? Anyone remote?
Nope.
Okay. We will adjourn the meeting at 5:22.